What is good, YouTube? Mike here from Cali Woodworks, and today I'm going to be building a Bitcoin and runes inspired guitar. I know this is Cali Woodworks, but we're actually going to build this out of a plastic guitar that I 3D printed. I designed and 3D printed a Bitcoin shaped guitar. This is based off a Telecaster. I'll just lift this up real quick and give you guys a little peek of what it's going to look like. So that's the Bitcoin shape. I literally made this into an actual usable guitar. So let me turn this around. Sorry it's not glued yet. I was saving that for the video. But just to give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like. It's a Bitcoin shaped guitar. It's based off of a Telecaster. And we are going to do a full-blown build and actually use this thing. It's printed out of multiple pieces. So I got 1 piece, 2 piece. This would be the 3rd piece, and then these I printed out as the 4th and 5th piece, so it's 5 pieces total. And for the pick guard, I went ahead and designed one. I printed this out on my 3D printer. However, I'm not going to use this one. I'm very likely going to cut one out on my laser machine with an acrylic. It's going to be a 2-ply acrylic, so I'm probably going to do like a black on the top and then a gold in the bottom. And the purpose for that is going to be because I'm going to engrave runic symbols. If you don't know what runic symbols are, I laser etched myself an OG intern cup for the DOG Bitcoin page that I run on X, and I have the runic symbols all the way in the bottom. I'll get more into detail with that whenever you guys see the portion when I make the actual pick guard. You guys will see what a runic symbol is and how I designed that and so on and so forth. But to get into this build, we're basically going to be using the EMG pickups. This is for the Tele style. I love the black colors. This is a really easy kit to use to put these guitars together. It's solderless. You literally just plug and play. I don't like the chrome plate and the knobs, so I literally purchased a black one over here from Musical.ly. This was like 10 bucks. And then I'm also going to be changing the knobs on that. I have over here the jack plate, which I got again. This one's all parts, the brand. So let's put these aside as we go. And then I have the ferrules for the string throughs. This is Kaish, K-A-I-S-H. I'll link all of this down in the descriptions. And then this is for the back plate. This is just the off-brand one that I picked up from Amazon. I'm using the Wilkinson M series for the saddle. And then I will be using the locking guitar tuning pegs, and this is from Kaish as well, K-A-I-S-H. I will link all of these down in the descriptions. For the strings, Fender is always my go-to. I love the Super Bullets. I usually replace these before I ever get to break them. They're just fantastic strings. They play really well. They definitely hit it off right for me. So that's what we'll be using for the strings. And then for the neck, maybe we could let the these are easy to swap out, so maybe we could let you guys decide which one I should use. I originally started off with an orange body for the guitar because it was for Bitcoin. I was going to do orange and white theme, but this neck didn't look too good on it because it's maple, and I just did not like the color tones on it, so I ordered a black one. But this took a little while to come, so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to wait. I went ahead and printed a gold one because the gold goes with maple. I think it looks pretty nice. But black goes with maple as well because I have this, I have the black and gold pick guard that I'm going to do. But the only thing that throws me off on this neck is the weird little symbols here. I don't know how I feel about it. So these are super easy to swap out for me. Maybe in the comments after we release this video, you guys could let me know which one you like best, and maybe we could swap it out and make a new video with this one, or take some pictures and show it to you guys. But I think as of now I'm gonna go with the maple one because I feel like it matches the body better. But that would basically be the build. Once we're done with this build, I did buy a nice big block of wood, which I will CNC and make this entire guitar out of wood as well. So we're not gonna stop here with the plastic one. This one is cool. I thought it would be super fun to just do a quick little project, but obviously at the end of the day, a guitar is a guitar. Nothing beats wood, so we're definitely gonna go ahead and do this entire thing off of a wooden block on my CNC machine. So that's the basics of what we're gonna do in this video. I did want to take a second to talk about DOG. and Bitcoin. If you did not know, DOG is a meme coin that just got released about a few months ago, like 5 months ago, on the Bitcoin platform. And it's crazy because Bitcoin didn't have meme coins, and now they do. Bitcoin used to be this serious coin that was just the biggest guy on the block, and he doesn't play around. So with these runes and these meme coins being launched, I think it brought a whole new dimension to Bitcoin. Like, this will onboard so many people to Bitcoin because it's more fun. It's not just like, oh yes, let's buy, hold Bitcoin, and then what? With these meme coins, we're actually having a lot of fun. And DOG is a free and fair coin that got dropped to runestone holders. I've talked about this a little bit in my previous videos, but basically, if you bought a runestone, which is like an NFT, but on the Bitcoin platform, you got airdropped 889,000 and some change DOGs. Those are meme coins. DOG is a meme coin. So what we did, and I'm part of a little project on X platform, by this guy named Vittorio made DOG plushies, so we could actually let people know what Bitcoin is by onboarding them onto DOG, which is pretty amazing because these plushies will be going to a lot of homes and onboarding people onto Bitcoin and letting people know what DOG is and what runestones are and what this new thing is that has been going around on the webs lately. And if you look closely over here, these plushies, they're serialized, and I happen to make all of these bones for this project along with the chains, and they all have serials on the back. So these plushies are serialized. If you buy one of these plushies, you automatically enter a chance to win DOG coin, which is a lot of DOG coin. I believe it's about 100 million DOG coin on the line. Current value is roughly like $50,000, but by the time these plushies all sell out and they do the raffle, that DOG coin is very likely going to be worth close to at least $1 million. So that's one of the projects that I've been getting into. And if you're wondering why people are going to buy DOG coin and why it's going to pump, the answer is super clear. Who doesn't love a cute dog? They got me like that too, I know. So basically, I'm sure you've heard of other meme coins that are DOG based. Like there's Shiba, that's like one of the bigger ones that I would say and I know a little bit about. That's on the Ethereum platform, and it only has around a 400 million market cap. And that coin at its all-time high was holding well above 6% of that market cap. Now, this DOG coin that's on the Bitcoin platform, known as DOG Go to the Moon, that's the ticker, it's on the Bitcoin platform, which has a liquidity of $1.4 trillion. To put in perspective, it's over 3 times more of liquidity in Bitcoin than there is in Ethereum. So imagine if this coin, which right now only has a 500 million market cap, or a little bit less, I don't even check the prices, that's how confident I am in it. Imagine this coin tapping into Bitcoin's $1.4 trillion market cap and taking at least 3% of it. This DOG coin's market cap is going to explode. It's going to go parabolic, and whatever you invest in it now is going to be up tremendously. Again, I've said this in my previous videos, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I'm a degenerate crypto guy, and I went all in on DOG. You don't have to do the same. It's totally your choice. You guys could look into it. If you guys have any questions that you need answered or would like to learn more about it, I will drop a link to our X page and also our website for the plushies. And on the plushies website, there is more than enough information for you to grasp the idea of what DOG coin is. And on the X platform, we can literally help you understand more precisely what DOG of Bitcoin is. So that being said, we're gonna put DOGs aside. We're gonna get into this build and start assembling this guitar, because in my previous videos, I owe my subscribers one thing. I made you guys watch an hour and a half and 2 hour and a half long videos of me assembling the guitars, and I did not play it for you, which was a bummer, and I realized how much that sucks because you guys watched for a long time and I didn't even play for you, showing you how the guitar plays. So this time, I'm going to make it up for the previous videos. I'm gonna finish this guitar build with you guys, and then I'm gonna put a track on that was made specifically for DOG. by a guy named KRP Music. He made an anthem for DOG, and I'm literally gonna jam onto that and then send it to him, and he's gonna put my solo onto that song that he already made, and then we're gonna add that to the end of the video as an outro. So that's what I'm going to do to make up for the previous videos. But with that said, let's get into this build and build us a nice Bitcoin guitar. Like, I've never seen one of these before, so I'm super excited and stoked to build this and actually hear it play. So let's do this, guys. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so before we start, I'd like to tell you that you're probably wondering, is this really a DIY? I don't have a 3D printer, I don't have the knowledge to design files, and to answer that question, yes, it is a DIY. And why is that? Because I already did all the hard work by designing the files, and now from here I did the hard work of 3D printing the files and getting this all dialed in and making it right. And the coolest part about this is that this kit will be on my Etsy store, which I will also link in the description below. And that's what will make this a DIY kit. So if you're wondering how in the world is this a DIY kit, I'm here to tell you that it is. And I already got it all figured out. The file's ready to go. All I gotta do is send it to the printer, and we'll have a ready kit to go for you guys. The tools I'll be using, I'm probably gonna be using one drill, a couple drill bits. I always have my trusted Milwaukee utility knife, a couple different types of bits that I might be needing. And in my last videos, I know a lot of people were so worried for me for using the drill bit and screwing things into the guitar. I might just go ahead and use an actual screwdriver for that, just so I don't offend my subscribers. But don't hold me accountable to that, because I just might use my drill bit and my drill to do things, because that's just how I do it. I've been doing stuff like this for a long time. I feel very confident in myself. If you're a little bit worried about you and how you do things, you do you. So with that being said, let's get into it. Another thing that I would be using is just plain super glue. Now, when I do sell these kits, I am going to make sure I have the option of having this glued down before I send it to you, or you could just literally watch this video and glue it yourself. I used to use epoxy, completely unnecessary. This is plastic. Super glue bonds it really well. It's unnecessary steps that you don't have to take. So that's what I'll be using to glue it. Sometimes I use tape to hold things in its place, but with this kit, what I did is I made little pinholes, and I made negatives and positives where they literally click in. So you kind of don't even need to do that. Before on my older kits, for other types of guitars, you would literally have to use like tape or clamps to hold it down, but with this one you really don't. The only thing I do recommend doing is I go and deburr these edges just a little bit. I don't like using sandpaper because 3D prints and sandpaper just look really terrible to me. So I just deburr these edges, the connecting points, like this, just so it sits flat. And that's all you really gotta do to it, honestly. So I just go around deburring all of that one by one. I set them aside so I know which ones I did, which ones I didn't. You don't even gotta press down too heavily on it. It's just simple plastic. It's PLA, so that just a little bit goes a long way, honestly, with these. And then these are the other pieces I was talking about. Deburr that as well, just gently, nothing crazy on these. Cool. Just clean up. And we're ready to glue them down. I like to start with the smaller pieces, and I'll just literally give it a little bit, light layer of glue. Just waiting for this thing to trickle down. We'll put this side up so we're not playing around too much on this thing. But let's see which side was which. So that's for the top, and that's for the bottom. And you can't really mess these up because of the way I put these little pins. You see here? They won't work on the other side. So if it doesn't fit, just move it to the other one. Just like this one, for instance. So this was the right piece. Just put it on there and let it sit. Now we'll do this top portion of the B. Oh, so much easier when it's actually ready to go. I should have done this before I started the video. But as you know, there's always so much to cover that it's hard to think of every single thing in advance. Remember, we'll set this upside down again. Now that that's done, we'll lay this down as such. For some reason, it is kind of still popping off, so I am going to put a little bit of tape to hold it in place. Just for the top one, because that one was moving a little bit, so that'll hold it in place nice. And now we're ready to do the bottom pieces. So this one will go on last. Let's do this part. Actually, no, I want to do this piece first. And this is my first time assembling this one. I've done plenty of other type of Fender type guitars. For the bigger pieces, you could go a little more heavy on the glue. Just always remember not to go too much on the outer lines of these, so you don't have any of it pop out. I do not like the way plastic looks when that happens. We set that down. I'm going to lay this down face first because I want the front side to be as flat as possible. So we're going to lay this down face first, like this. And then we'll go ahead and finish this last piece on like this. It would be nice if I started off with a brand new glue because the tip of this thing is a little bit clogged. I'm almost done gluing, so I don't really care, but if I was off camera, I would definitely take this and unclog it a little bit so I don't have to break my fingers gluing these pieces down. Right, one side down, gotta do this last piece and we're good. I don't mind letting this glue sit out and get air on it. It, for some reason, does help with the bonding and speeds up the bonding process. Just don't let it sit out too long, obviously, because then you're gonna have some dry glue. Wow, this thing is definitely giving me a run as it's getting closer to the end. And now I can't help to think to myself that I know a lot of people are going to have a lot to say about this too, but go ahead, give me your worst, I deserve it. I should have just unclogged this from the beginning. But you know what? It's all right. It's all right. We're going to be fine in the end, which is all that matters. Whew. Breaking a sweat out here. Okay, and then this side goes in here, and bam. So what I will do is I will put a couple pieces of tape on this just to make sure it doesn't move around. So we'll go one end from here to here. And then one from here, and as I press in to there, that should hold us down nicely enough until this glue dries. I usually let this sit for at least about an hour and a half, so we are going to get back to this. We're going to let this glue dry, and then we'll continue this video as we go. And there you have it, guys. The pieces are glued. All we need to do is wait for it to dry. We could put our tape away. We're probably not going to use that. We could put our Gorilla Glue. By the way, this was Gorilla Super Glue. This one is a... It says 1 minute, but I've never had it stick in under 1 minute or over 1 minute. It's usually like 20-30 minutes at the minimum. So I let it sit for an hour just to be safe. But if you could find glue that does cure quicker than that, do so. It's not going to cause you any issues down the line. Like I said, this is plastic, so literally as you're applying the glue, you'll see it melting the plastic. So that's also another reason why you don't go too heavy on it. Just enough for it to bond both surfaces, and a little goes a long way with these crazy glues. So do keep that in mind. And this is not crazy glue, this is super glue. I know there's a brand called crazy glue, but we're going to keep this correct from the beginning. Super glue, Gorilla Super Glue. We'll be back. All right. So now, while we wait for the body to get the glue to dry. All right. So now that we're waiting for the body glue to dry, I thought to myself, I'm just gonna take advantage of that time because I'm very impatient. I normally like doing this at the end, putting the tuners on there, but I don't feel like waiting, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get the neck ready, and then once the body's done, we'll go ahead and bolt the neck down, screw it in, and then continue with the electronics portions of this build. So this neck, again, I got this from Amazon. This thing is so high in quality for the price that I paid for it. It was literally like 60 or 70 bucks. I can't tell if this is stainless, but it really feels like stainless, and they're jumbo frets, which I love. And I think they did a great job, like literally out of the box for a $60 or $70 neck. This thing is freaking nice. Like, I've never had a neck this nice out of the box where I was like, I don't think I need to do anything on it. So we'll put this on and see how it, if the neck is straight or not. It looks pretty straight. I did a light little check on it with my tools, but we'll find that out once we put it on the guitar. I'm sure there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made, but until the glues and body's done drying, we're going to go ahead and put these on. So these are the Kaish tuners that I got, and we'll go ahead and put them in their places. They are a little tight, which is good. And earlier on in my video, I forgot to mention that I do use one ruler. And then for these specific tuners, it's a 10mm socket with a little extension and a ratchet. You could use other tools for this, I'm sure, but that's what I like to use. So those are definitely tools that you will need to do this neck, to do the neck part and put the tuners on. So first things first, I like to just put these in, get them close. And it's a pretty tight fit, but I like that. I like when it fits tight because that way it doesn't move around as much. So I rather have a little bit of a tight fit than a loose fit. Go ahead, make some jokes about that. That's fine. So I just get these nuts snug with my fingers, not too tight, not too loose. It's already pretty tight as it is. It doesn't move around that easily in the hole. So I'll put those nuts in like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this around. And you could really use anything for this. You don't have to use a ruler. You could just use anything that, like a straight edge, that you could line these tuners up so you get them all in one line. Here you see me moving them around until I feel like it's good enough. And that looks pretty straight to me. So what I'll do from here is I'll turn them down and start slowly tightening these by hand. And then I'll turn them around, make sure they didn't move. And if they did, as I'm tightening them, I might move them around a little bit just to make sure they go in perfectly by the time it's fully bolted down. Then this one's a little off, so I'm going to turn this back, loosen it up a smudge, bend it over slightly. Oh, that's a little too much. Right there. And also this one is a little off to me. So loosen that up. And that's it. And these don't have to be too tight, guys. Like, you can literally just go enough for it to be snug and not move. These Kaish tuners do have like tiny little pins on them. So once it's locked in, it's locked in. Like it's not gonna move, literally. This is pretty darn straight if you ask me. I like it. You could sit there and make this as perfect as possible, or not as perfect as possible, but I'm literally building a plastic guitar. I'm not gonna sit there and just go crazy on making everything super smooth and perfect. Or at least not any better than I think it should be. I think this is perfectly fine, and we're gonna leave it right here exactly as it is. And that's the tuners on the neck. I think that looks pretty beautiful. What do you guys think? I like it. I like it a lot. Alright guys, so the body's pretty much dry. I did go ahead and tape around it a little bit more just in case to be safe. And next I will be going and putting in the 4 screws for the neck plate. And I'm going to drive them just enough for them to protrude out slightly out of the top surface of this. And I know I said I'm not going to do this, but you guessed it. So I have this on the slowest speed. We're gonna start running these in. And it's just gonna come out slightly from the front, just so it pokes my finger and I know to stop. So we're gonna put all 4 of these on right now. That just makes it so much easier for me to put the neck on. Also, because I'm not entirely sure if the body is fully dried with the glue, I'm taking a risk at this point. But I have no patience at the moment. I want to get this video done, and I want to see how this thing turns out. Okay, so over here you see I got those in just enough for it to protrude out on this side. Just enough to stick out. I have the holes already pre-drilled on this neck, so I'm just gonna literally line it up right here right now and go for it. And I'm gonna do this in turns. And then I'll just use my drill to torque these down, just enough to make sure they're nice and snug. And there we have it. The neck is on the body. Yes. Next we'll work on the electronics. Alright, so now that we got the neck done, well, at least the tuners for it, I'm still waiting for the guitar body to fully cure on the glue. I don't want to rush that. I thought I will take advantage of that as well again and start assembling the electronics. Obviously the lower coil goes on the saddle, which we'll install right now. And then the top coil, the bridge, goes on the pick guard, which we'll also install. And then this is a pickup. This is one of the pickup wires. Super simple, plug in, plug and play. This is the other pickup wire. Again, plug and play. This is the output wire for the jack output, stereo jack. And then this is for the battery power, which also is included in the kit. I thought that was beautiful. And then after that, we'll go ahead and change this plate. We'll go ahead and put the black one. I also have some black knobs. We'll install those. I don't really like them. This one looks much better as far as quality goes, but it'll make do for the video. Let's get to it. Let's start installing the bottom coils, and then we'll keep moving forward with this project. And that's going to use a Phillips. As promised, I'm using a screwdriver. Don't want anybody getting mad at me for this. Let's see how long this will last. Hopefully we could keep it through the entire video. And this is just straightforward stuff, guys, like really simple. Make sure it lines up with the thread, and don't tighten them down all the way just yet. You want to make sure all of the screws are on properly before you do that. Putting the last screw in for this one. Make sure it lines up. And it does. And again, I'm not going to tighten these down all the way just yet. We'll do that once we're done assembling the entire thing, and then we'll go around and do our fine tunes, but that's what it should look like. So that's done. For this video so far, I still have to design the pick guard I'm going to use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue with this so we could go ahead and assemble this guitar. After I'm done with it and make sure everything works, I will go ahead and do another video of me actually laser cutting the pick guard. The material still hasn't arrived, so unfortunately I can't do it just yet. But that is definitely something that is going to happen down the line, and I will show you guys that process as well. And for this, I did make the holes a little bit tighter, so I'm gonna go and grab a little drill bit and open those up just a tiny bit. This model that I'm working with is literally a prototype. The one that will be sold will obviously have all this stuff in place, ready to go for you. So all you have to do is literally just assemble, and that's it. See if that hole is big enough. Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay. And you're also wondering why my pick guard is made out of 2 pieces. And the reason being for that is my 3D printer wasn't able to print this in one full piece. The bed just isn't big enough. But luckily for me, my laser cutter has a much bigger footprint, and I could cut this all in one piece. So that should be looking way better than being in 2 pieces. There you go, I have that installed. I am not gonna tighten it down all the way just yet. We'll set that down right here. Next, let's work on this. Let me take these apart. This usually just pops off like that. You just pull it out. And then for these, they have little screws here, 1 and 2. We're gonna take that off, and then it should have a nut in the bottom. And this is a flathead screw, so that's all it is. You literally unscrew it, pop it off. Same with this, unscrew it, pop it off. Gonna grab a socket for this, and then this is just Phillips screws. Technically it's a 7/16 socket. you could get away with 11 because they don't put too much pressure on these. And when you take it off, do remember to put the washer back on before you screw it. So that's one. And then let's take off the switch. That'll be 2 Phillips screws right here. When we take it off, I just literally hold it in my hands, upright. These do still have washers underneath them. They're kind of like lock washers, so. And right off the bat, I do see a little problem, which is easy to fix. I'm not gonna press these in too much right now. I'm gonna go ahead and make the holes for this a little bit bigger so they fit properly. This pots are actually on a board, so you don't want to put pressure on these. I thought that that would probably be a problem, so I came prepared. I do have my drill bits, but you do not want to press these in. And I repeat, do not press these in. If it doesn't fit, just make sure you make the holes a little bigger so it doesn't put any pressure on those. I might need to go in with a bigger drill bit, but let's give it a shot first. Nope, we're good. It was just a tiny little bit that needed to be drilled down, so we did really good on that. Let me just put on the screws for the switch. Run it all by hand first. And then the screwdriver for the kill. Wish I was using a drill for this. No need to torque these down too much because it's really unnecessary. And same for the pots. I'm just going to retighten it with hand, no ratchet. Then we'll pop this on. Nice and beautiful. And next we'll grab the black knobs and put those on. So I'm just going to take these knobs off of another control plate that I had and reuse those. We'll put these back on here. This goes better with it. This is like a stainless, black stainless, so I think I could use this for another project. I'll set that down over there. Where were we? Alright. So for these switches, I always set them in one direction before I actually tighten them down. Beautiful. Same for this one. And there you have it, guys. The black switch ready to go. This should look much better with the rest of the stuff. Alright guys, so now that we got the neck screwed on in place, we're going to go ahead and start with the electronics. I have my diagram over here. A lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward, but it's nice to look over it once more time so we don't mess anything up. So we have the output over here. This black wire that attaches to the battery goes onto this prong right here. And then next we have this wire where the black one attaches to the next ground, I believe, which is next to this black one right here. And then the white one attaches to the prong next to it, which is this one right here. It's a really snug fit, but that's pretty nice. And then that should be all for the output jack. So we're gonna go ahead. On this model, I made the output jack right in the bottom over here. I'll turn this around once I'm done and show you. But it basically connects, it screws onto this, and it just goes inside. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. We actually don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna remove one of these and literally thread this in, just like this. Actually, I do want to keep that in. That's sticking out too much and I don't like it. So we'll probably put this in there. That should give us enough. Yes, perfect. And you see how that fits in there? Nice. So once I'm done with this, it has two little screws in the bottom. We'll do that all the way at the end. I'll just drill, and then put the screws in to lock it in place. So for now, I'm going to slide this up into the body as such. And you want to make sure this red wire is kind of upwards, so I'm going to put that in first. Bam. So that goes in its place right there. We got these two over here. Next, I want to run, so they have two of these pickup wires. The longer one is obviously the one that goes from the top to bottom. So I am going to route these in like this to fit the lines in here. Let's see. Yes. So that goes through one hole. And then do the same for this one. Just gotta fish it through. Push it till it comes out the other side, and then I'm going to run the next wire through with the whole body and then pull that from the other side. So bam. So now we have this one all the way out and into this control switch gravity, or area gravity, cavity. I meant cavity. Haha, laugh it off. And then I'm going to separate this so it's easier to slide through this next hole. Now that there's a wire in there, it's going to be a little bit more harder to move it in, but we got it. All we need to do is run the red wire through as well, which we did, and that should be that for that. Boom. Cool. So from here, I'm going to plug these in. And according to this, the red one goes in the bottom as such, and then it's the black and then the white as such. So that's that. Could drop that in like this. Oh. And then let's do the top one. This one already has it noted here. It's red, black, and white, so that's easy. You don't even have to look at the diagram. So that's red, and then we got black and white. Super easy, guys. Super easy. So let's pull this through so we don't have any slack in there, and we'll hide the rest of it in this cavity. So from here, we have a few more connections to make, and that would be the coils. So this one would be the neck, which is, let me double check this, make sure this is the neck. Okay, so this is the neck wire, and it has it stated over here which says neck, and it says black, white, black, and red. So that's the neck pickup, simple, and this is obviously the bridge. So that says white, black, and red, and it also has arrows on it so you don't mess it up. And then from here, all we have left to do is connect this red, which connected to the ground. One of the sides connects to the ground on the output jack with the arrow, and then the black and white that come from the audio jack, the stereo output, and that says white, black. Okay, just gonna take a second to make sure this is all connected correctly. Cool, and that. And then from here, you gotta put in the battery. So we'll go ahead and remove this top cap. Plug that in. And we're literally just gonna drop this inside the body. And you wanna put this sideways, like this. You don't want it sticking up long ways up. So we're just gonna put this in sideways. Make sure our wires are out of the way, and don't just flip it down as such. Boom. Cool. Now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and put the first screw on this saddle using a screwdriver, okay? I'm using it. All right. Okay, so there we have that in. We have this in, which is good. Next, I'm doing two pieces, so this is a little tricky, guys, but once we get the correct, actually, the file's ready. All I need to do is get the acrylic piece, and we could go ahead and cut that out. But for this video, or for now at least, before I get that piece and add it, we'll use this pick guard to finish the project. Alright, so from here I'll go ahead and put two screws to hold the control plate in place, and we'll continue going forward with that. Let's see, it's 1, 2, these are the screws for it. They're short screws. And as you know it, if you have a weak heart, don't watch this part. But I am using a screwdriver to tighten it. Alright, now that we got the electronics in place, we could go ahead and screw down these pick guards. So I'll make a couple holes for these. I'm not going to go too ham on this because we're going to change it down the line, but let me grab my screws. So I'm only going to use probably a total of 4. We don't need it to be super tight at the moment. So we're gonna put one here where our pilot hole is. That's one, and that's the second one. Clean that up, get a nice tight fit. Okay, cool. And then we're gonna put one here and one probably here, and that should be perfectly fine for now, until we put the actual correct pick guard on there. All right, and there you have it, guys. We'll work around this and take the tapes off. I'm not really too worried about it right now because we're gonna remove this out anyway when we put the new pick guard. But now I'm gonna do the pilot holes for the saddle, finish that off, and then we could get to stringing. And I'm gonna put the 2 screws in here, get that out of the way, and from there we'll probably start tuning it and trying to do a little test run on it. So let's keep going. I think we're doing fine. Okay, so that's done. Next, let's finish the saddle, and then we could get to stringing. Clean this up. Oh yeah, and then we'll flip it around and put the ferrules in so we could actually get the string in. So let's do that next. I have a little piece of foam in the bottom to protect it, if you may. So I'm still not too sure if this body is glued fully yet, so I'm gonna do something special here. I am going to heat these up lightly, since it's plastic, and push them in without putting any pressure on the body, just because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait to know if this body is cured or not. And there you have the ferrules. Alright, let's throw some strings on this bad boy. here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a Bitcoin Telecaster guitar. That's fully assembled. And from here, I'm just going to play around with it and get it tuned and dialed in. I'm going to adjust the height, the action height. I might need to bend the neck a little bit. It has the little adjustment up here for the truss rod. And then from there, I'll probably push up the pickup coils. I'll screw that in so those come out. And then once I'm done with that, we could actually plug it in and make sure our electronics are good. And I will give you guys the promised play song with KRP's DOG Anthem. So stay tuned, we're getting there. But I mean, as you guys saw, it's a pretty straightforward build. Again, once this was a prototype, so I had to do a lot of drilling and screwing into this one. But the model that I finished, that's done, would have all of that stuff built into it, so you guys don't have to worry about doing too much of this work. It's just mainly just assembly and gluing. But again, you could order this pre-glued. I could glue this before I send it over to you guys. But here we have it, guys. This was the build. So now we're just gonna do our fine tuning and plug this bad boy in and play it. And then once the 2-ply acrylic comes in, I'm gonna show you guys how I cut that on the laser. And then when we do that, I'm gonna have to work around this somehow so I don't restring these. But I do have a good idea of how I'm gonna do that. So stay tuned and you're gonna find out. Bitcoin guitar, baby. This is so rock and roll. I mean, look at that. Look at that. And then look at that. Wow, it even fits my body so well. Look at this. And I don't know if you noticed, but I moved these switches on the top because I didn't want to mess up the beat. And this goes aligned a lot better with this. And also the output goes over here, which I thought was really neat. It just goes straight into the line to over there. So a lot of the pre-made factory kits that you're gonna put as far as the electronics go, they should line right up with this body without having to do any modifications to it. So here you have it. Alright guys, so my lick has it. The truss rod screw is Allen key normally. It's busted. Luckily the neck is not that off. It has a slight little play over here. About, I don't even know if I could call this slight, but it's not that bad. If you look at it, it's a millimeter off of each side. It's bowing in, so it's basically cusping like this. I need it to go out, but unfortunately I can't adjust it any further. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to increase the action height up so I don't have any fret buzz, as you hear that I do right now. So what we'll do is I'll put my little tuner on. Let's get it tuned, dialed in, and then I'll probably increase the action height for now until I figure out what I need to do with the neck. I probably gotta take it off, get new strings, get a new neck, and adjust it correctly. But let's see if we could get it to play, even though it might have a high action. High action means strings are up higher than the frets, a lot higher than the frets. So let's give it a shot and see where this takes us. This is fairly high in action, not my preferred amount. I like these to be as low as possible, but for the sake of making it work. Ugh. This is like maxed out. And you could imagine what happens is when it's cussed up like this, these frets become higher and the center becomes low. So whenever this is pressed in, and as you can see, mainly my strings have been hitting the next fret around the centers, is because it's cusped. So whenever you press this down, this one is higher. Now if the neck was flat like this, it would just be above it and it would never hit, and we could bring this down so much lower and be so much closer to the frets, so when you're playing it's more comfortable, and you could also move around the fretboard so much more quickly that way. Okay, so now that that's tuned, I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in and give it a shot. It's not terribly bad. It's not terribly bad. Definitely much higher than I'm used to. Geez, that's like a lot much higher than I'm used to. But I still have the tapes around it. This is what it looks like. I think it came out fantastic. Looks so good. I just gotta take these tapes off. This is the back end of it. This is what the back end looks like. I really like it. Again, that's where the jack goes, so we could plug it into the amp. So let's go and see how this thing sounds on the amplifier. I can't play it too loud. My baby's finally sleeping, but I'm gonna go do a couple tests, and then tomorrow morning we'll go ahead and actually do a video on how this thing sounds. But yeah, I think this looks beautiful. Let me know how I look with it. I think it looks badass. If you're a crypto guy, you don't have one of these, I feel sorry for you. Really. there you have it, guys. That's the 2-ply acrylic. I didn't wait for the black and gold one to come for the purpose of this video. I'm really impatient to get this edited and put out for you guys to see. But basically, that would go right here, just like the other one, in one piece instead. And I think it turned out pretty darn amazing. That has DOG on there, it has Bitcoin on there, and it has the runic symbols, which I really love the way those came out. Just gives it the real DOG vibe. So I think this came out really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and install this onto here, and then we'll go into actually playing it for you guys and showing you how it sounds. Alright guys, so I know I promised I was gonna jam on KRP's track, but I haven't been playing guitar for a really long time. I felt a little rusty. I tried it, didn't like it. I felt like I butchered it. So I'm gonna play something more natural to me, something that I would normally play that is kind of embedded in my head and fingers. But as promised, I will put a KRP's track as an outro. That thing's it's a banger, man. It's so good. I love it. And he has the lyrics on the screen too, so you guys will actually hear the lyrics as well. So here we go. Coming down now, baby, the sun gon' shine, but it's dog for life for me every time. I feel it in my soul now, baby. I feel it in my pocket. It's a man's best friend, it's dog. Here we have it, KRP. That energy, man, that's some good energy right there. KRP Music, he's from India. He's doing some big things. He just randomly joined us on our X spaces and said he wants to make a tribute or an anthem for the DOG Army, and we really appreciate everything he's done. He really went above and beyond. Everyone really loved that track. I think that is our DOG anthem now, and we play it every time we exit our spaces. So thank you, KRP. That's beautiful music, man. I hope you guys loved our video. I hope you guys loved the build. Subscribe, like, comment, share. It helps a lot to get your guys' support. Like I said, we're gonna be doing that same Bitcoin video, but with actual wood this time. and I'm really excited to be working on that next. Let's see how much love this video gets, and if you guys give me enough motivation, I'm gonna start that like ASAP. So hopefully you guys love this video, man. Leave us any questions or things you'd like to add in the comments, and we'd love to chat about it. Have a great one.